What is going on, dudes? This is Deadbolt here, bringing back some more SCP reaction, and today we have SCP-2137, Forensic Ghost of Tupac Shakur. What? This one was recommended to me by Alpha Shocker over here, so thank you. And crap. I'm trying to come up with a prediction for this one, but it kind of sounds self-explanatory, but it also could be something completely different. That's the thing about SCPs, man. They're so unpredictable. You know, their like title could be like a freaking cow that can travel through time if you touch its hoof, and then like it'll be like a frog with like cow prints on it for some reason that can travel through dimensions, and it kills you as well, like just to add insult to injury. But is it really the ghost of Tupac? Yeah, so that's pretty funny. This is also kind of timely because I think recently they celebrated his birth or his death, one of the two. I forgot. Yeah, like this month. I feel like it was like a week ago, I want to say. Let me see. Oh yeah, September 13th. Yeah, it was a few days ago. It also happened here, which, wow, I did not know that. I thought it was Biggie that died here. Am I tripping? They both died here? That's pretty crazy, man. Oh no, he died in Los Angeles. Okay. Well, I guess Las Vegas isn't as dangerous as I thought it was. But alright, SCP-2137, this is by TheVolgun, by the way, so be sure to support their channel. Almost at 1 million, look at that. And let's get into this.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-2137. Object Class: Thaumiel, previously Euclid and Keter.
Word?
Special Containment Procedures. When not being used, SCP-2137 is to be kept within a typical electronic 10-digit metal safe in the safe wing of Site-23.
Is it like one of his albums, you know, and like if you play it, he starts talking to you or something? That would be really cool, actually. Again, these SCPs can be so unpredictable. This man was Keter at one point. What the hell?
All digital and wireless broadcast media must be kept at least 100 meters away from SCP-2137. Due to SCP-2137's anomalous effect having been determined to have no ranged limit, digital, wireless, and broadcast media may be used, but should be monitored closely for any appearance of SCP-2137-1 or 2. Other than testing and recording of Track 7, SCP-2137 should be considered an inanimate item without agency of its own, and any demands or threats made by SCP-2137-2 should be ignored.
Damn, that must suck.
Once a week, SCP-2137 is to be cleaned, and all tracks are to be played in succession, with special attention paid to the instance of SCP-2137-1 that replaces Track 7. The names, situations, and anecdotes presented in that instance of SCP-2137-1 must then be reported to 2137 Special Committee, POC-Watch.
Huh.
On the rare occasion that
POC-Watch.
non-Foundation organizations cannot address the situation presented in an instance of SCP-2137-1, 059 has given authorization to activate Mobile Task Force 33-9 to take any and all measures necessary to reach a resolution to the problem. Operational success will be indicated by a new instance of 2137-1. Personnel who wish to examine or attempt to interact with SCP-2137 must ask Dr. Kiewicz for authorization beforehand, which will then pend 05 clearance.
See, I'm debating on whether it's actually dangerous or not, just because I feel like when the SCP Foundation allows their employees to use an SCP, it's because it's really hard to make it dangerous. You know, it's like that coffee machine. Like, as long as you, or what was it, a vending machine? I forgot. Like, as long as you order regular drinks that people drink, you know, then you're fine. But there's always that one guy that ordered, what, a cup of Joe or something, and then it took like Joe's bodily fluids that was like standing next to him or something, and then poured it in a cup, and that man almost died. Like, It's like it takes that one guy to ruin it for everybody. But that's like what this is kind of giving me. It is kind of the vibes I'm getting off this so far, just because they're considering allowing Foundation members to interact with it. You know, yes, you still have to ask for authorization, but still, I feel like that's a good sign.
Description: SCP-2137 is a single compact disc copy of Me Against the World, a hip-hop album by the artist Tupac Shakur, released in 1995. Physical examination, as well as laser testing, indicates that the CD was one of the initial release, manufactured and distributed in 1995. Conventional testing of the disc itself reveals identical results to a non-anomalous copy of the album. The case and liner notes have been determined to have no anomalous qualities, and the physical makeup and encoding of the disc appear completely normal. However, upon playing track 7, normally heavy in the game, the listener will encounter an instance of SCP-2137-1. The anomaly takes the form of spontaneously generated, professionally produced songs featuring Tupac Shakur in various styles within the hip-hop genre. Though each instance of SCP-2137-1 generated is unique, they share certain commonalities in terms of subject matter.
So they're like a special song.
The of the song invariably addresses a crime, almost always a murder or series of murders, and then gives necessary anecdotal evidence or information to correctly identify and prosecute the killer, even going so far as to specify prosecutors or recommend vigilante justice.
Man, this is what I'm talking about when, like, you try to predict what the SCP is about, and then it takes a huge turn. It is just what is it? The Ghost Whisperer? This is like Tupac's The Ghost Whisperer, man. What the heck? This is not what I was expecting at all.
Though generation of SCP-2137-1 has been determined to have a definite causal nature, the manner in which SCP-2137-1 instances are copied onto SCP-2137 has yet to be ascertained. SCP-2137-2. The primary voice on the songs, from herein identified as SCP-2137-2, matches cleanly through advanced audio analysis to that of the real Tupac Shakur, who died in 1996, over a year before the recovery of SCP-2137.
Whoa.
However, occasionally, on crimes of a particularly complicated or brutal nature, SCP-2137-2 will be joined by other performers, either guest rapping or singing the chorus or bridge. This has included many of Tupac's contemporaries, such as Snoop Doggy Dogg, Nas, No Doubt, Everclear, Weezer, and Busta Rhymes, as well as artists from the 2000s,
Yes, Katy Perry.
Katy Perry, Lil Wayne, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, the Yin Yang Twins, Drake, Neon
So they don't
Trees,
have to be dead.
Jet, Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Eminem,
That's
usually
crazy.
at the height of their popularity. On a few notable occasions involving long unsolved crimes by still active criminals, there have been guests of a more blatantly anachronistic nature, standouts among whom include Phil Harris, the Andrews Sisters, Frank Sinatra, Buddy Holly, The Who, Elvis Presley, Diana Ross, and the Beatles. Heavily anachronistic guests tend to take the role of primary artist, the song performed in their style, with SCP-2137-2 joining as a rap guest.
This man's
When
featuring in his own
contacted,
album.
None of these artists had any recollection of recording for or information regarding SCP-2137. The crimes themselves share that they are unsolved, or in some cases, have escaped detection entirely. The majority of instances of SCP-2137-1 address crimes of private citizens, such as serial killers, spree murderers, or career criminals, though occasionally the songs will address larger groups, such as Hamas, ISIS, the IRA, and even in 2 separate instances, the Chaos Insurgency and the Church of the Broken God.
Well, at that point, like, what are you gonna do? You know, the other crimes, I get it. You could like pass it off to the proper authorities. You know, have them take care of that. But like ISIS, You're gonna send the police after ISIS, you know what I mean? Or like the chaos insurgency, you know? It's making me wonder. They say that they have to play every song in succession. Is that like some sort of ritual? Like, or can they just skip to track 7 and then like, oh, okay, write this down, report it to the cops, and then go on about your day? Or like, has there been a precedent of things happening in the other songs as well? You know, like little hints or something of something else.
A prototypical example of SCP-2137-1 is included here for reference. This is an excerpt from SCP-2137-1, log 542.
Now I gotta be doing detective work. After all this time, huh? Jeffrey Gertz still stalking at night. Killed his brother and some strangers with the same damn knife. Right. It's not in my plans to tell you what to do. I know what I would do if I was you. If I was you. He hit the blade in the barn off North 111. He already killed 6, don't make it 7.
Ah, that was good.
Be careful and play it smart.
That's funny, man. That's they actually had to get a like Tupac sound alike to record that. That's like what makes it funnier. Like, how do they explain that to him? Or no, they probably did it on like Fiverr or something. I bet you there's like a Tupac Shakur sound alike on Fiverr. Let me see. I always spell Fiverr wrong. I always put 2 V's instead of 2 R's. I'm so dumb. Oh no. Okay, well maybe not Fiverr, but I bet you there's one online. You could like, hey, can you say this for me? You know, this verse in my rap song. Well, I found an impersonator. Travels up to oh, that's for this is for like renting him. Oh my god, people actually rent this guy. How much is he? $500 to $2,000 for a Tupac Shakur impersonator. Man, I thought I've seen it all. Is there a Chester Bennington impersonator? I'd love that. I never got to see him in real life. Okay, well, I couldn't find one that could like rap, but if you can get an impersonator, I'm pretty sure you can get a freaking sound alike.
When the
for not $500 to $2,000
to light, either by the legal system or otherwise, SCP-2137-1 is immediately replaced by a new instance. However, the track is easily recorded through conventional means. Recorded versions are not subject to change or replacement, and the original can be replayed from the CD endlessly before the killer is found with no or little variation. There are currently nearly 1,000 instances of SCP-2137-1 on record. Initial recovery log. SCP-2137 was recovered in the home of Avon Lincoln, arrested for the vigilante slaying of Michael Ferris, who was later revealed to have been the Ojai Strangler responsible for 6 murders over the summer of 1996. Avon's insistence that Tupac Shakur spoke to him from beyond the grave and told him he had to take justice into his own hands because Ferris's position as district attorney would prevent a fair trial drew the attention of Foundation agents after the song in question was produced as evidence in court. Amnestics were administered to all involved, and Lincoln was released back into the general population.
Wait. Oh, okay, so Lincoln, yeah, he's the vigilante guy, and he killed the serial murderer. Well, good for them. The SCP Foundation looking out for the man enacting vigilante justice. Good for them. They did a good.
Initially, researchers experimented with anonymously tipping off local police departments through Foundation plants, which led to the resolution of over cold cases, including the recovery of SCP.
Finding SCP, other SCPs with an SCP.
Though no direct link has been established other than the murders involved. However, after years, this use of the SCP was deemed impractical. Repeatedly addressing the crimes discussed in 2137's music was, in practice, allowing the SCP to dictate the circumstances of its containment, and under the wrong circumstances, opened the Foundation to potential exposure through continuous interaction with law enforcement at all levels across multiple governments.
I guess that's true.
In response to this, 059 ceased addressing the crimes in late 2000. After 2 months passed, SCP-2137's behavior radically changed when, for the first time, An instance of SCP-2137-1 was produced that revealed SCP-2137-2 had an awareness of its containment.
That's scary. That would be scary as hell if you like listen to the song and imagine it just says your name. Like imagine if you're the one assigned to listen to it and it's just like, hello security guard James Potter. I know you're assigned to watch me from like 6 to 5. Like I would shit bricks, dude. You know.
Excerpt from SCP-2137-1, log 851.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is hilarious.
West side. West side. You already know. You said you all about security, but you not good guys. You redact and expunge, man, your silence is lies. You said you here to protect, but the killers run free. Don't let me show you how rough this outlaw can be. You couldn't stop the beast, so don't you start that struggle. You better watch your tone, unless you looking for trouble. Man, you need to fall back and let me do my duty. Locked in the drawer, feeling like you trying to screw me. You try to step up on my legacy. You don't believe that I'm Tupac, I'm not just a CD.
That's scary as hell.
The decision was made to halt testing.
What if it's alive? You know what I mean?
Acquiesce. After 1 week passed, an instance of SCP-2137-1 appeared spontaneously on the YouTube channel of Los Angeles-based hip-hop station, and in the lone hour before it was taken down, accrued over views. XK Scenario Incident. The image displayed on the video was a still photograph, apparently a
Like, I get where the SCP Foundation is coming from. You know, if they keep interacting with law enforcement, they're probably going to get outed. But I also feel like the SCP Foundation has enough resources to do it without any connections. Like, you know, maybe hire a guy in the SCP Foundation who hires a guy, who hires a guy, who hires a guy. And then eventually the length of the people hiring people will get so long that you can't really trace it back. And also, if it's just Joe Schmo reporting an anonymous crime, you know, like, hey, I got this, you know, you go on a payphone, or like if they still even have those, or a burner phone, they just report the crime. They're like, hey, we have this, this, and this, you know, if you go here, this will happen, and this and this. And then, you know, you can find evidence here and then hang up. You do it anonymously, you destroy the phone or whatever. You go about your business. You know, like, how do you get... I don't see how you can track that to the SCP Foundation. But whatever.
authentic, though its nature is highly anomalous. The photograph is of Shakur, estimated to be in his early 40s. It would be wise to note, at the time of his murder in 1996, Shakur was 25 years old.
I was just about to ask how old he was when he died.
D-class personnel with his middle fingers raised. The accompanying song titled
That's scary.
SCP, revealing its actual location and means by which it could be broken free of current containment procedures, and identified several members of the O5 Council by their first names as it described the function and nature of the Foundation. In a massive sweeping operation involving activation of multiple task forces across continents, all trace of the video was erased and all viewers were administered Class A amnestics. Midway through this operation, an entire album titled SK Scenario was released to the iTunes account of Beyonce Knowles. Each song featured SCP-2137-2 as well as a variety of guest artists, and focused on a different Keter-class SCP currently in captivity. Though SCP tracking bots were able to bring XK Scenario down only after downloads, complete digital eradication of the individual files has proven difficult. Though no loss of life or property was incurred, the sheer scale of the danger posed by this containment breach prompted a Foundation-wide state of high alert. This prompted an ongoing upgrade to all automatic SCP firewalls and engendered the reclassification of SCP-2137 from Euclid to Keter.
I would just like to point out that this all happened because the SCP Foundation were just like, this CD doesn't tell me what to do. And then decided, you know what, we're not going to listen to you, and stuffed it in a drawer. All of this happened. This could have been avoided just by the SCP Foundation going, all right, let's form a chain of command. We follow this protocol of reporting these crimes, and then we'll all be good. You know? But no, they're like, I'm not taking no orders from no disc. Get out of here.
The breach sparked heated debate as to how to proceed with the containment of and conceptual understanding regarding SCP-2137, which came...
Why was there even a debate? Just go, hey, since we've been ignoring it, it's kind of been like a pain in our ass. Why don't we just go back to what we were doing? You know, like, that's not a debate. Come on.
An end upon the appearance of a new instance of SCP-2137-1. This instance was produced spontaneously through the mouth of SCP.
Oh, I want to know which SCP was.
Trance state during the incident, with the lyrics in totality repeatedly written in what was identified as 117,000 times all over the interior of its containment chamber. This is an excerpt from SCP-2137-1, log 564.
Here I am. Y'all must have lost your goddamn mind.
I thought it was written. How does it have a beat?
You motherfuckers can't see me. I'm everywhere. Thug life. Help me find my killers and not find yours. Try not to play the CD, you starting a war. You don't really wanna see me in flesh. I wouldn't hesitate to put you little nerves to rest. So feel my power. What if I told you that the planned it all? What if the world knew the was bound to fall? They'll try to blame me cause you need me inside. You was the reason had died. I would never let up. Was a setup, tell to keep his head up. 19 and not what it seems. I'm everywhere and I can't be touched. And if you think about a plan, I'ma fuck shit up. You try to hide it, but I see it all. Now I'm coming for your head like I'm Tylenol. You don't wanna fall. Dressed in black like you can't be seen. I ride alone, I don't need no team. Yeah, so do your job, cause I'm giving you tips and put that whole CD in the mix. Biatch.
That was good. But part of me wants to find out, like, I know, like, there's a large part of me that's just like, go back to like listening to it, you know, like just go back to how things were and reporting the crimes and stuff. But another part of me is just like, don't listen to him. You know, part of me just wants to see what happens. You know, he said that if he, like, he's implying that he would manifest if you continue ignoring him. And I want to know if he would manifest as actual Tupac Shakur, or if he would manifest as like a demon who's just taking on that persona for whatever reason, you know? And then like the SCP Foundation would get rocked. I kind of want to know what happens.
The decision was made to resume the former method of testing involving the embedded informants used to relay SCP-2137's evidence and information, while continuing to study the method in which SCP-2137 transmits its broadcasts in an effort to truly contain it completely. SCP-2137-2 resumed its previous behavioral pattern, SCP-2137-1's focusing on crimes until their killers are located by conventional law enforcement, with the exception of one final track. At this time, its last recorded direct interaction with the Foundation.
Oh, so it hasn't spoken
this is
since?
An excerpt from SCP-2137-1, log 565.
See? I knew y'all get me.
Oh, it's like an R&B track.
Listen. Y'all cannot afford to lose. And y'all will lose going against me. So it's only right. It's only right. But now that we on the same page, this is what I got for y'all. I guess it took time for it to sink in. I'm just glad you understood what I was thinking. I just knew you come around, so you see it now. And ain't no need to get upset or even throw down. You know I got the crown. I see it's hard to get some sleep at night. You got a head full of grapes and your skin ain't tight. So let's be real and ain't no need to fight it. There's a grander design, I bet you gonna like it. It's black and white, so don't get caught up in the deep thoughts. You got my music on the side with a greater force. You got my music on the side with a greater force.
I like how he's like saying, we're all buddy now, but he's also like, I won, he's like, don't forget, I still won this battle. All right, but we're cool now. All right.
Investigation into any kind of link or pattern between the crimes SCP-2137 solves is ongoing, as is interest to why it doesn't use its agency to pursue the criminals in question rather than working through proxies.
Memorandum. Email from Site 515, Director Dr. Gwen Pristine, to O5 Council, regarding Tupac. This will be the 5th time I have written to propose an update to SCP-2371. When they enter our program here at Site 515, researchers, engineers, MTF troops, and even D-Class all walk in the door having read the official documentation, and believe the Foundation has been essentially blackmailed into cooperation with the devious SCP.
Oh my
but everyone
God.
who actually works here knows this is no longer the case. In the nearly 3 decades since its containment, the Foundation's collaboration with SCP-2137 has led to recovery of dozens of SCPs. Our mobile task forces have deposed dictators and toppled tyrants, chased down rogue reality benders from 3 Portlands to Lamplight. This, of course, all adjacent to the arrest or end of nearly 30,000 murderers. To add some perspective here, a serial killer hasn't made it past their 3rd victim anywhere on Earth in 14 years.
Bro.
SCP-2137 has produced over 40,000 unique pieces of music. Function at Site 515 has become effectively frictionless. First, it was just the Suge Knights, but as we became more effective at addressing SCP-2137's instruction, another MTF joined, then an elite division. Which brings us up to the present, where the 5 mobile task forces under my command are in constant action against forces all over the planet Earth and beyond. All under the guidance of detailed strategy provided by the mysterious music from a compact disc that the Foundation has failed to adequately contain. A silent, undocumented understanding has grown among us. The SCP does not simply catch murderers. It directly and aggressively searches out anything that maliciously takes a human life. The amount of lives saved and untold disasters that have been prevented through the information 2137 supplies are at this point stupefying to contemplate. Much less that it has been able to essentially bully us into a pattern of unilaterally heroic expenditures of Foundation resources. It's little wonder that we show the highest numbers globally in Foundation morale test. It makes sense, of course. Here at Site 515, the SCP Foundation is a fast-action team of gunslinging heroes, smashing cults, blowing away terrorists, and catching murderers and monsters in our spare time as we blast rap music out of a landing attack hovercraft. Or working behind the scenes, turning local cops into super sleuths and vigilantes into heroes. But this period, as productive as it's been, has been intellectually stagnant.
Oh my God. They're falling back into that pit of, I know this is good, but I don't want to take orders from this disc. Like, they're just doing it again. They're just repeating their last mistake.
All of this, the motives and origin of 2137 remain a mystery, defying every search for a pattern, every algorithm-driven analysis. The research wing of the site has become a ghost town, as the MTF response barracks have grown to dominate everything, and perhaps rightfully so. But a few young researchers have diligently continued to hunt for meaning, for greater truth behind SCP-21371. An unexpected advance in this area is behind the urgency in my message to you today. It had long been understood that the life of the actual Tupac Shakur held little information or relevance toward the mystery of SCP-2137's existence. This has potentially changed. Researcher Mariha Kozlovich recently came across an unreleased interview with Shakur from 1994, 2 years before his death and 3 before the discovery of SCP-2137. The interview was buried by his managers because there was anxiety about Shakur's mental state in the footage, because he was speaking what they called nonsense. I think you will agree that while Mr. Shakur may not have been speaking clearly, what he actually says is very possibly of vital interest to the Foundation, and very definitely not nonsense. I feel we may finally have, if not an answer, the beginnings of one. But I can say with certainty
Was he
that in
cursed?
my entire time at the Foundation, I have never personally felt this excited. So I start my proposal here. A Keter-level object actively interested in aiding the human race is not a Keter-level object at all. I am officially
kind of
resubmitting my proposal for SCP-2137 to at long last be redesignated a Thomule-class object, and for a quadrupling of our research team and a site resource allocation. We must tug this thread and see where it leads us. Perhaps after hearing the audio attached, you will finally agree. Dr. Gwen Pristine, Site Director, 515.
Like, I get, maybe he would be more of a Euclid, because, like, yeah, he's helping and stuff, but, like, he could still kind of do whatever he wants. Like, they do have a method of containing him, you know, just do what he says, pretty much. But, like, they still don't know exactly how it works, you know, and, like, there's always the possibility of, well, what if something happens and we can't, you know, then he's gonna release himself on iTunes again. then he's out in the world again, and we gotta track that down. So I don't know. And I forgot what Thomule is, to be honest. I'll look it up when we're done.
Document. Recovered footage 1L. Tupac Shakur, dressed casually, sits on a large red couch, smoking a marijuana cigarette, hunched forward and visibly intoxicated, with drooping eyes and slightly slurred speech. He seems happy and jovial and laughs often through the interview, despite repeatedly becoming distracted by the presence of his entourage dancing and talking in the room. His director and videographer Gobi Rahimi sits nearby, and VH1 interviewer Mila Vendi, also visibly intoxicated, sits nearby. The relevant portion begins 9 minutes and 14 seconds into the interview.
People ask me where I get my inspiration from. They say, how do you go so hard and put in that much work?
Is it the devil? Is it one of those stories?
Taking a break. This is me on vacation. I think some people would say that was irresponsible. To just sit back, be human for a while, be an artist, experience that. I can't be chasing the king all the time. I feel like I've been doing that forever to protect you, all of you. He's not so big, and you're not so small. But he's gotta trick you like it doesn't matter, because that's the only way that he can keep it looking like he's the man. Like he's some big bad evil motherfucker. You don't see that when I die, I'll live on. My death is my destiny. And then I become something else. What I was before. The voice will still shout, and it'll shout justice, and poetry, and art, and music. I got you. I got you, humanity. When I eventually go toe-to-toe and brawl with this fool, he's gonna gather up his little red dress and go home crying like a bitch, and he knows it. Evil knows his days are numbered. So the king is still running. The chase isn't over. Prepare. Prepare. Prepare.
That's creepy. Man, that was interesting. That was really cool.
You know, working for a foundation such as this, it's kind of heartwarming to see that not every anomalous entity out there is malevolent. For once,
True.
a Thomule class object that can't be contained is kind of a good thing. Maybe most people disagree.
I wouldn't go that far.
Who knows? Anyway, I think that about does it for today. Thank you all for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
See, like, the reason I say... Wait, what? Oh. The reason I say it's not good, like, you know, that he can't be contained and stuff is because he's already demonstrated that if he doesn't get his way, he'll like release himself on the web. And if you have a bunch of people forming mob justice, you know, if you have like 100 people going to kill one man, that's not really a good look, you know. And then we got, you know, Tupac Shakur in the disc itself, which is threatening harm against the SCP Foundation, which aren't good guys, you know, but there are also just people there who work, you know. They're just there 9 to 5 trying to pay their bills, you know. So I can see like this, it's doing the right thing, but also when it doesn't get its way, it can kind of be a prick. So I don't know. I feel like overall it's probably for the best. It's kind of like that Dave Chappelle joke. You know what I mean? I'll put it in post.
Only problem with this guy is he can't even activate his powers unless he touches a woman's vagina. Not a long touch, just a couple of pats. So whenever trouble breaks out, he has to run around the city and convince women to let him pat their vaginas. Please, miss, that building's on fire. Can I pat your vagina quickly? People are dying, but he can't tell them exactly why. Get away, you're gross. Please, miss, people are dying. Just a couple of pats. Gross, get away. So he rapes them. I know. That's the dilemma for the audience. Because he rapes, but he saves a lot of lives. And he saves way more than he rapes, and he only rapes to save. But he does rape. I didn't realize.
I feel like overall it's good, but it can be bad. But the SCP as a concept, I think, is amazing. This was really cool. This was one of the better ones I've seen in a while. I still hope one day one of these SCP channels makes a video where they don't listen to him and things just get way out of hand and like maybe he's a demon or a monster or something. That would be freaking awesome. But be sure to subscribe to TheVolgun. This was a great video. Help him get to 1 million subscribers. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Any feedback we really appreciate. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me. Cause she got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place off the liquor that we chase. Casamigos to the face, baby, I don't need no